Pokemon is one of the biggest gaming franchises that we know today. It spawned many games, an incredible anime, and so many movies that we've loved to watch. However though, with a series as big as Pokemon, it has to have some crazy facts that you guys may have never heard about. Well, in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 10 craziest facts about Pokemon. Don't hesitate to drop a comment down below about the video and if you found it interesting or not. Don't forget to leave a like on this video too to show your support, and I'll be sure to bring out a new video very shortly. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to keep up to date, and follow my Twitter to updates about the channel. Both of those links can be found in the description down below. Now without further ado, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. So starting things off, as our number 10 fact is the fact that Nidorino had a different cry. Now Nidorino is of course one of the very first Pokemon that a new player ever saw when beginning their Pokemon adventures. Professor Oak would obviously send it out of the Pokeball. During the introduction though to the much loved Pokemon Red and Blue games, the Pokemon Professor shows off his very own creature, a Nidorino, like I just said. However though, the Pokemon doesn't quite give off the right cry. Instead of giving the cry of a normal Nidorino, it actually has the cry of a female Nidorino. I'm pretty sure it was just a glitch and they missed over, but hey, it's still in the games. Our number 9 fact for today's video is all about Mewtwo, the legendary Pokemon. Now the fan favourite Pokemon Mewtwo has taken on many forms, such as Mega Evolutions, anything like that, but the creature itself is of course a clone of the secret 151st Pokemon Mew. That's what we all know, it's just how we've found Mewtwo out. However though, a crazy fact about this Pokemon is the fact that the creature was actually a secret that even Nintendo was not initially aware of. It was actually programmed in by Shigeki Morimoto 2 weeks before the original games actually finished development, so if it wasn't for him, we might not even have a Mewtwo today. Our number 8 fact is all about the Psychic types. Now although Psychic types were hugely overpowered in the first generation of Pokemon, they do in fact have weaknesses in the form of Ghost, Dark and Bug types. However though, what you guys may not know is the fact that these are its weaknesses because they are common fears of humans. We are usually scared of the dark, a lot of us are scared of bugs, and of course we're scared of ghosts, whether they exist or not. If we saw one, we'd probably be scared of them. But yeah, that is why Psychic type Pokemon are weak to these different types. Our next fact for today's video is actually pretty crazy. Now, although it is of course impossible for a Pokemon to have more than 2 types at this point in time, if there were a Pokemon that was a combination of all the different possible types, you'd probably think they'd be invincible, right? Like, it's got all the different types. Well, it would actually still have one weakness. Rock type attacks would still be super effective on this impossible Pokemon. So hey, rock types are given a little bit more slack than they need, but there actually would be somewhat plausible if a Pokemon did have every single type. Our next fact for today's video is the fact that Pokemon Yellow gave players the opportunity to play the game in a similar style to how the anime unfolded, which involves starting with a special Pikachu that followed you around and catching all the starter Pokemon and everything like that. If the Pikachu though from Pokemon Yellow is uploaded to Pokemon Stadium, then it becomes even more like the anime. The uploaded Pikachu is voiced by Ash's Pikachu's actual voice actor, Ikyu Otani, and has unique sound effects. That's pretty cool if you have both the games. Our number 5 fact for today's video is that Pokemon Gold and Silver were developed by just 4 programmers. So just think about that for a second, how big these games were. 2 regions, multiple gyms, new Pokemon, everything like that. All this game was just developed by 4 different programmers. If one of those guys was like, nah, Gold and Silver may have never been created and Pokemon may have stopped at Red and Blue. So we are super lucky for these 4 people stepping up to the plate and making Gold and Silver as good as they were. Next up, we have the most insane fact that I cannot believe I didn't know about, and I just had to put it in this video, and it may be one of the reasons you clicked on it, but it's the fact that in 2014, a fish played Pokemon Red on Twitch. I don't know, absolutely crazy. You may have all heard about Twitch plays Pokemon, that was crazy, but this fish takes it a step further, playing Pokemon itself. Anyway, Grayson Hopper, which is a great name, the fish unknowingly played this Pokemon game by swimming into different areas of his fishbowl assigned to different in-game commands. It was of course slow going because it's a fish and it's just floating around and swimming around all day, so he has no idea what's going on, but he did actually manage to pick a Charmander as his starter Pokemon, name it AAAABBK, so hey, that's imaginative if you say the least, and he also beat his rival Squirtle. So that's not bad at all for a fish. I know people that can lose to the starter Pokemon at the start, but this dude beat that Squirtle. I generally have no idea how, but he beat it. I needed to go down to my local pet store, grab myself a goldfish for shiny hunting me, because they seem like they are decent Pokemon players at the end of the day. Our next fact is all about the evil bosses. Now, as we all know, evil bosses like to kinda get a legendary Pokemon and try and take over the world or something along those lines. However though, Giovanni is the only criminal in Pokemon to not endanger a legendary Pokemon in the games. As we all know, Team Rocket just wanted to take over the world and just steal and sell Pokemon. Yes, there were kind of links to Mewtwo, but he never really went after it or anything like that. When you take a look at like Archie or Maxie, they both went over Kyogre and Groudon. You have Giratina that went over, Dialga, Palkia, you know, the Reshiram, Zekrom. All these Pokemon were sought after by these evil criminal people, and Giovanni was the only one that was like, nah, but just do it on my own with my team of Zubats and stuff like that. So hey, maybe Giovanni isn't as bad as we make him out to be. Our next fact is all about Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, this is kind of crazy and I didn't know about it, but these games actually have an anti-feature where hacking in Mew would cause it to not listen to you. This is not in any of the DS games though. To elaborate, Mew basically ignores every order you give it, regardless of how many badges you earned. Also, the same thing happens with a hacked Deoxys. So if you hack a Mew or a Deoxys into Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green, it just wouldn't listen to you, which I think is super cool that Pokemon did that. And maybe that would just stop hacking. Maybe if they just implemented that into like every single situation, maybe Pokemon would just not listen to you if they were hacked in. And maybe it would just stop like people hacking in Pokemon. Like, I'm not bothered if people hack in Pokemon or not, but I know a lot of people out there are. So that would be a pretty funny answer to it, to be fair. It'd just be like, yeah, let's just make them not listen to the trainer. Maybe there's something that identifies a Pokemon from a hacked one in the Switch games, and then that enables the game to be like, yeah, that was hacked, let me not make it listen to the trainer. That would probably solve all the problems that we have with hacking in Pokemon. Finishing things off though, as our last fact for today's video, is another crazy one, and it's the fact that the American audiences almost got beefed up versions of Pokemon. I'm talking 6-packs, I'm talking pecs, I'm talking muscles on muscles, which is crazy to think of Pikachu with a 6-pack, but just hear me out. As Kotaku points out, US players came very, very close to getting muscular versions of Pokemon instead of the regular cute versions that we all know and love. You got your little Togepi, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah, America was about to have a Togepi with a big old 6-pack going to gym every time that he got. But of course, Nintendo President Satoru Iwata says that the idea for muscle-bound monsters was an attempt to speak to American gamers, because apparently they like more beefed up things. I don't know if that is true, but apparently that's what Nintendo thought. Luckily though, American players were perfectly happy to accept the cute fighters. And why wouldn't you be? Everyone likes a cute little Pokemon. I for one do. I'm glad the Togepi looks the way it does. I don't want a Togepi with a 6-pack. So yeah, even though I'm not American, it would be a little bit weird if I was battling my American friends, I send out my Pikachu, which is just a normal little cute one, and then they send out their Pikachu that's buffed up to heck. You know, it'd just be a little bit crazy. But yeah, that is the last fact for today's video. But with that, it does wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it. If you did enjoy the video though, please do leave a like, I would really appreciate it. Like I said at the start of the video, I would also love to hear your guys' opinions too on this subject, so be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I do have a couple top 5s coming onto your screen in a second, so be sure to give them a watch if you do have the time, and also subscribe if you do enjoy my content. That's everything from me though, so thank you so much for watching guys, have an amazing rest of your day, and until next time guys, peace.